So in Alberta yesterday, we were just announced another round of restrictions because of the increasing rate of infections across the province, and it left many of us feeling rather sad and maybe a little bit heavy. I'm the kind of person that often listens to music that reflects my current mood, and I've been noticing lately I've been spending a lot of time listening to some rather heavy or rather dark kinds of music, spending a lot of time listening to Linkin Park or maybe some rap music or other pieces that have emphasized or been in tune with some of the anguish or the lament or the maybe even anger that I've been experiencing over the last little while. But at the same time, I'm also recognizing that being stuck in that situation is not helpful. It's not helpful for any of us to allow ourselves to sit under the heaviness that we experience for too long. And while it's important for us to recognize and maybe to be able to explore some of the emotions that we are currently experiencing, it's also important to realize that sometimes the things we do can influence our mood. And so sitting in and listening to those kinds of heavy music or that place that reflects a darker or a heavy mood can also increase the depth of that mood or can continue to keep us there in that space. And there's other things that we can do that might actually help pull us out and give us a little bit more joy and to increase our happiness and our mood. One of the things that we've started to do the last little bit at home as we've been preparing for meals or just hanging out with the family is listening to some different kinds of funny music or some dance music or some things that are full and upbeat and encouraging and help us to kind of encourage us to dance and move and go around. I know one of the things that we've been listening to are some of the songs from the Holderness family, right? They're parodies of different songs. They often make you laugh and those things help to increase our mood. And so today I wanted to give you a list of a few things that might help in this time frame to move us away from just experiencing and to sitting underneath that heaviness that so many of us, if not all of us, are experiencing right now, so that we can move to a place where we actually increase in our mood and make us feel better. The first piece of advice is, of course, just to listen to some upbeat music. Whatever that is for you, whether that's some parodies that make you laugh, or whether that's some upbeat classical music, or whether that's some good Christian music that helps to encourage you to belt out praises to God. Whatever it looks like, I'd encourage you to listen to and enjoy and get into whatever it is that music is, to dance along with it, or to sing along with it, or at the very least to tap your toes to it. The second is to get a good laugh. I've been watching a number of different comedians the last little while, some ventriloquists or some other comedians doing different kinds of things. Find some that fit in with your sense of humor maybe, but just watch them and let yourself laugh. Even if it's dumb comedy or even if it's things that you wouldn't normally laugh about, it would be really good because laughter increases the dopamine in our system and helps us to feel good. So get a good laugh. Remember to get some exercise. I was actually listening to, and so that's the third thing, get some exercise, whether that's just walking around the block or whatever. I was actually listening to the radio the other day and they talked about this recent study that says 4-second bursts of all-out activity that are done like 5 times over the course of an hour is actually sufficient to get your heart rate up and to continue to have your body producing and recuperating from that exercise while you're going through the day. So take time, and maybe if it's just 4 seconds, just go all out and exercise in some way. See how many push-ups you can do in 4 seconds, or sit-ups, or burpees, or jumping jacks, or whatever it is. Do as much activity as you can in those 4 seconds, and do that a few times over the course of the day, and it might increase your mood. Exercise actually helps us to feel better. A fourth piece of advice is maybe to declutter or organize a little bit. Now, sometimes it can be frustrating to actually do the organization, but it's important for us to to sit around in a space that at least is organized for us. And if you're anything like me, this idea of sitting down for 3 more weeks and not really having a whole lot of things to engage with or a lot of places to go might discourage that kind of collecting and tidying up that we might do when a friend's coming over, for example. But it's important for your own and for our own well-being to be surrounded by at least organized chaos, maybe if not completely organized and clean space. So just take some time to declutter, make some room for yourself, room for your brain to think. The 4th thing, or the 5th, I can't remember what we're on, I think we're on the 5th thing, is to think about what went well during the day. Because there's lots of things to think about that did not go well, but to focus on the ways in which you did see God and that you are thankful for Him. Maybe this is the time to start a gratitude journal, to write down a few things every day that you are thankful for. Just to remind yourself that not everything is bad, that things are still going well, that God still is involved in our lives. And lastly, it is important to allow yourself to vent, to lament, to cry out to God about the stuff that you are going through, to acknowledge that place, to acknowledge the grief, the sadness that we have, that we're not able to celebrate the way that we would want to, or that we're not able to do the things that we want to. But it's encouraging to not necessarily stay there. So vent and then find some way to actually increase your mood as well. So what are some of the ways that you are able to increase your mood, to make yourself feel better, to feel happier? It'd be great if you could share those with us in the comments. After all, we all learn better when we learn together. And if this has been helpful for you, I'd encourage you to like the video, to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and maybe share it with somebody else who might need a little bit of encouragement and some help in finding joy or lightening their mood in this season.